Good morning, everybody. Ken Krell here from Sydney, Australia at 8:01 a.m. in the morning. It is 4 p.m. Eastern time, and God knows where it is, wherever you are. But I want to tell you, I'm thrilled that you're here, and you'll be thrilled that you're here. You'll be thrilled that you're here because you're here, because your next guest today is one of my favorites. Her name is Sue Wilwhite, and she's going to talk about how to power up your heart. Understand that Sue, after spending 20 plus years as a wildly successful programmer and systems analyst, she's been known now as the profit attraction master. She decided to switch gears and exercise more of her right brain. She became a hypnotherapist, a bookstore owner, an event manager, a law of attraction coach, some of them at the same time. So she's a crazy person like us. Sue loves to make difficult or complex subjects understandable and relatable. And if those of you like to confuse things like me, she is great to have around. She coaches and inspires practitioners and inspired practitioners as well how to earn six figures in their businesses, even if they're too spiritual to be rich. And that's a big challenge for many people. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible, fantastic, chocolatey good Sue Wilwhite. Hey, Sue.
Thank you, Ken. All right, I am going to get my presentation up here.
You are ready to go.
I am, whoops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Technology sometimes does weird things. So much for my technology. All right, let's try. Whoops. Okay, technology fail. It's okay. I deal with these all the time. Isn't it fun?
I will admit that some of the technology fails that we've had have been Ken fails as opposed to technology fails. That was the human technology.
Oh, that was a Sue fail. That was totally a Sue fail.
Yeah,
all right.
I know.
I hit the big yellow button.
Click the share button.
All right, here we go. Let's try this again. Present.
There you go.
Ta-da!
That's it. That's it.
That's it. All right. So today I'm going to be talking about power up your heart. Have you ever in your entire life felt like everything is too much to handle? Maybe you've had a moment in the last year where stuff has gotten a little bit, just a tiny bit overwhelming. Just knocked you out of the loop. You're feeling overwhelmed. You're having a meltdown. I am here to say that if you haven't had a meltdown at least once in the last year, I want to talk to you because I want to find out what's going on, because I've had at least 3 meltdowns, and it happens. It just happens. So what if you had a low battery indicator? What if you had something that when you are feeling tired, when you're feeling exhausted, that you just get one of these little things that flashes up that you get to plug it in and you can reset yourself any time? Well, I'm going to share a 3-step process that is going to allow you to plug in your power source so that you can activate your superpowers and have a better, richer life. And I'm hoping that in the comments, you're going to say yes to this, right? You want to say yes to having your batteries fully charged, ready to go, your superpowers up and running, right?
I'm saying yes, 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 yes.
Yes. Absolutely. So for those of you who aren't saying yes, you might be sitting back going, oh my God, this sounds really woo-woo. Oh God, recharging your batteries. Yeah, right. And some of others might be going, yeah, but when I'm tired, everything is so hard. Right? It's just so hard when you're tired to drag yourself over and plug yourself in. Well, as Ken said, I am here to tell you that you have gifts, talents, and abilities that you were born with that are easy for you and that you are supposed to be using in some amazing, magnificent way. And you have internal and external power sources, energy sources that you can plug into anytime, any place, anywhere, under any circumstances to express those talents, gifts, and abilities. Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, you've got to want that, she says. So I want to acknowledge and thank you for being here. I want to say that it's an amazing thing. You've shown up. You wanted a little more love. You wanted to power up your heart. And I want to thank Ken for putting on World Love Week on a dime. This is a magnificent enterprise. And he's recharging his batteries all the time to be able to do this 24/7.
Oh my God,
and,
yes. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, right? So you are showing up. And I'm going to tell you just a tiny bit about myself so that I can kind of give you an idea of where I'm coming from. So as Ken said earlier, I miss positivity. I miss upbeat. I carry positive energy everywhere. And it wasn't always like that. When I was in IT, I had a great deal of stress, and it brought me to having an ulcer, hypoglycemia, depression, and other challenges due to stress and overwork. And I would routinely work until I was exhausted and then collapse and have a breakdown. And then I would recover, and then I would work until I was exhausted, et cetera, et cetera. And when I got the ulcer in particular, that motivated me to find a different answer, because the ulcer was going on 24/7 and it was painful and it sucked, and I had to take drugs. And I'm a big believer in not taking drugs. So I wanted to be off of this. So this introduced me to an entire world of complementary and alternative medicine and techniques that allow you, it allowed me to recharge my batteries, to get myself going, to keep myself going. And one of the techniques introduced me to the concept and the functionality of something called the electric universe theory. The electric universe theory says that we are all made up, surprise, of electromagnetic energy. And if you've had any chemistry or physics at all, this can't be too terribly much of a surprise, but the idea is that this electromagnetic energy and its ebb and flow impact our physical and mental health. And I feel it's my mission to share this with you. And it's why I'm here, to help you power up your heart and give you the energy that you want and that you need. So, one more question. Would you like to be able to use your gifts, talents, and abilities to the max in your business, be a force of good for your community, for the world? Oh, and be able to have, cash flow. That's a sort of a side benefit of being able to run your energy better, right? So you are a battery. You've all seen batteries, these little things, and you have a positive and negative pole. And I want to tell you a little bit about one of my clients, Carolyn, who is consistently tired. Before she came to see me, she had no energy. And with the no energy, she even had insomnia. And sadly, she also had a family pattern of abuse. So her battery not only wasn't charging, but it was completely popped out of the contacts. You know how when you load a battery into something, it goes into its little contacts, right? Well, her batteries were not doing that. And so I was able to talk to her and train her and work with her on getting her batteries connected, getting her energy flowed together so that she is now sleeping better. She has more energy and she's able to do more with what she's got. So how did I do that? Well, just like a battery, you have a positive pole and a negative pole. And the positive pole is what's called the Earth star, and it lives about 6 inches from the bottom of your feet. And it should live there, but just like a battery, it can get popped out. And I'm going to teach you how to reconnect it. So it takes a little bit of paying attention to yourself and a little bit of visualization. So what you want to do is you want to just imagine feeling the area between your shins or maybe between your ankles. And I want you to just imagine that you can find a little ball of energy. And wherever you believe that it is, that's where it is. And when we get stressed, when we get upset, when we get low energy, and particularly when we feel threatened by something, the Earth star has a tendency to tuck in like a puppy's tail. And it goes up above the ankles into the shins. And the idea is to very gently imagine that you are taking your hands and you are just gently pushing the Earth star down, down, between your feet, beyond the plane of your feet, till it goes about 6 inches below your feet. And it might feel a little bit like it just fell into its little slot. And when you have that feeling, imagine that it is connecting to the electric field of the planet, the current of the planet. And that energy, that current is coming into the Earth star and running all the way up your body, all the way to the top of your head. So here's this electric current, and it's just flowing all the way up from the Earth star in its connection with the life force of the planet. Now, the other battery contact, the positive pole, and by the way, negative and positive in this case are just simply descriptions of what electricians and folks who are studying electricity and flow call it. They call it a negative and a positive pole. These are not judgments. It's not that the Earth star is channeling negative energy. Please don't go there. It's just about a name. The positive pole is above your head, and it should live about 6 inches above your head. So it's usually hanging around right about here when it's in place. Now, what ends up happening with the sun star is it has a tendency to cling to the top of the head. And I had a client named Alan whose Earth star was actually sun star was actually split kind of like a broken egg all the way over his head. And it was just like a collapsed balloon. And he was so much into his head that he wasn't able to make progress in anything. He was always getting frustrated because he was trying to think his way out of things. And when he was on, he was really, really good, actually. But he'd get into his head and his sun star would just collapse into his head. And it turned out that he had kind of an issue with his family having patterns of addiction. And the way that he coped with that was by getting into his head and trying to think things out logically, because his heart was being hurt. So after I worked with him and got him to get his sun star above his head and activated, he was able to increase his paycheck, not once, but twice, and doubled the whole thing. So he went from about 65, 70K as a paycheck to about 130K currently. It might have gone up since then, since I worked with him, but it's definitely gone up. So when you get the sun star activated, things flow to you. So just imagine that you've got this sun star that is probably collapsed against your head, just like a collapsed balloon. And I want you to imagine that it is coalescing, that it's coming together, that it's becoming its own bright energy source, and it's living about 6 inches above your head. Now, when it is there, after you've got it connected up there, imagine that the electromagnetic energy, the life force energy of the universe, this is a big power boost, let me just tell you. The life force energy of the universe is being channeled, is being pulled and funneled through the sun star into the top of your head and down all the way where it connects into the Earth star. Now you have a current running. And if you can see the picture, you can see that the sun star and the Earth star are lined up, and you just want to imagine that that energy goes back and forth. Now, to describe this, well, I'm telling you about it, and the first few times that you are trying this on your own, because you are going to practice, right? It'll take you, it took me about 10-ish minutes to describe all of this. It might take you 15 minutes on your own. But once you get practiced in it, it's like that. You check in with your Earth star, you push it into position, you check in with, and you run the life force energy of the Earth up to the top of your head. You connect in with the sun star, you move it to the top of your head, you connect it to the top of your head, down to the Earth star, and you have this current running up and down. It literally takes less time to do than it does to tell. It is so fast. And when you do this, when you check in, it's like click, click, click. Oh, hey, there's energy. And you can take that energy and use it in your business. It allows you to be more present with the people in your life. It allows you to have a better heart connection with your customers. Because what happens when you are low energy and you're trying to deal with customers, with your clients, whoever it is, it's just not there. You're not going to make the connection. But if you connect this current, this electromagnetic current that you were born with, you connect with your clients and your customers And oh, by the way, the folks in your family, your friends, your loved ones, all of that becomes richer. It becomes easier to attract clients. When you are talking to them, you communicate better because you've got this energetic flow. And because the flow is from the energy of the earth and the energy of the universe, no one can take it away from you. This is the other thing that I hear, is that people are nervous about energy vampires. Well, you know what? If you've got the energy of the universe coming at you, no vampire can eat that much. So you are completely in your own integrity as far as energy is concerned. Now, sometimes you've got patterns that you've inherited from your family in your DNA that consistently knock your connections out. Your battery gets disconnected. There are patterns: illness, poverty, abandonment, addiction, betrayal, abuse, and violence. These are 7 patterns of family dysfunction that get inherited through the DNA. Yes, there really is evidence for this. There's tons of books that have been coming out in the last 5 years that are about what's called epigenetics, and that we inherit these things. At April and May of 2020, I did some group sessions to clear these family patterns, to reduce or remove the energy of these 7 patterns of family dysfunction and get them out of your DNA, so that when you connect up your battery, when you've got your negative pole and your positive pole connected, they stay connected. They stay in the flow. You have that universal energy that just runs through you. So as my gift to the World Love Week folks, my gift is all 7 sessions that I did last year. It's $150 value. And all you have to do is go to the World Love Week dashboard, click on the free gifts from speakers button. It's a reddish pink button, and choose the one that says get your mojo back. And it looks kind of like the picture here. It's a little bit smaller because we had to fit it. But you'll be able to download any one of these or all 7 of these as you wish. Each one of them is anywhere from 25 to 45 minutes. And I'll just issue a warning: don't binge watch these because you don't want to detox all 7 of these, leaving your system at once. I had a client who did this. That was not necessarily the best thing. So just do them like 1 a week. And in 7 weeks, you will find an amazing change in your life, especially if after every single one of these, you reconnect your battery by going to your Earth star, connecting up the life force of the planet, the electromagnetic current of the planet, connecting that up, connecting your sun star, getting the life force of the universe in there, and you will be able to go forth, have your internal battery set, and express those amazing talents, gifts, and abilities and superpowers that are yours, that the world is waiting for. Thank you so much. I'm Sue Wilwhite, the Profit Attraction Master.
And you're amazing. What a generous gift, Sue. That's really delightful. Thank you. And yes, I recommend everyone jump over the dashboard, grab that, and I would recommend doing it now because that's going to get moved because of its great value is going to get moved as a VIP bonus, strictly to VIPs once this event gets later on in the week. So I recommend that you jump in and grab that now, or better yet, so you can listen to Sue over and over again with this particular session. Pick up our VIP recording package, all access, to give you all the chocolatey goodness that is Sue Wilwhite and more. Let me just check on our time. We're good. So what's the typical number one question that people ask you when they start working with you?
Well, they want to know that what I'm doing works. And what's really fun is I do this connect up your battery thing, and they're going, yeah. Oh, wait, I felt that. Oh, wait. Oh. And that literally, I've had people go, did somebody
talking about me? There's so much. People look at me and they go, yeah, I'm known to be the Energizer and all this, but I got to tell you, it takes a lot to recharge these batteries. And while it appears that I'm, it's behind it, it's like, I want to go to sleep.
Yes. Yes. So yes, kid, you might listen to this once in a while.
Yes, at least once in a while, every hour. Yes.
Well, that's my gift to you, Ken.
And trust me, I'm very grateful for that, to be sure. When you're presenting, think about this. And I work with presenters to create and produce ridiculously irresistible digital events. It takes a lot of energy, and the audience will give you their energy, even if it's on a digital basis, just like we are right now, to sail you through. But I found over nearly 40 years that when I leave the stage and get back to the hotel or wherever it is I'm going, I'm done. Right. There's the high from the event, there's the adrenaline from the event, but then there's that, okay, I'm not, and even during the course of a day of work, of being creative, when that day is done, I don't want any new data. Right. I just want, throw on some Netflix, give me something that does not require me to think or engage.
Right.
And so this is a great gift for all of us. On behalf of everyone, I'm very grateful for what you brought to the table for us today.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, if you don't have energy, you can't do your business.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And you can't be present. I mean, you can, and I mean present in every way. So this is great. I would recommend you head over to the dashboard, pick up Sue's incredibly generous gift, and more than that, use it. Yes. Use it, because just collecting stuff on your hard drive is really kind of meaningless. Yeah. So to that end, Sue Wilwhite, I love you. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Stick around, you guys. There's more to come. We have, I don't even know who's up next. I'm not even going to tell you. I'll let you figure it out on your own. Ladies and gentlemen, Sue Wilwhite, thanks so much. And we'll see you on the next episode. Okay, cool. Streaming is over. Thank you. You're great. Perfect. You landed the plane beautifully. Thank you.
Yay.
Go enjoy some chocolate cake. Take care of your honey. Tell Beth I say thank you for not like doing anything really, really tragic, that she's still around and not just being a drama queen. And
no. She was having vertigo. Oh. Severe vertigo. Oh. And it's either an ear infection, deep ear infection, or there's these crystals inside of the brain that do things. Anyway, and it's not a stroke, which is
thank God.
We were worried about. So she's
great.
healthy.
Yay for vertigo. Yay for vertigo. Let's go watch, after you figure it out, go watch some Hitchcock.
Right. No. All right. Thank you, Ken. Bless your heart. You take care of yourself.
I promise. Thanks, you too. Bye.
Thank you.
She is a firecracker. She began working with doing a number of different things, but Google adopted her. And she would travel around the world working with Google on their Google Plus platform. And really it was a brand evangelist for Google Plus. Now with Google Plus being gone, she's become the queen of engagement and of live streaming. And I don't need to spend much more time on that because I don't want to take any more of her time. I just spent a bunch of time with her on, was it 3 or 4 days ago? You'll tell me in a second. I don't even remember. I think it was May 4th. So 4 days ago, where she revealed how to use live streaming on StreamYard, this platform right here. And she knows her stuff. I mean, we've done obviously 28 and a half hours prior to this, but some of the intricacies that she shared were really terrific. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's give a warm opportunity and welcome to, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Ifat Cohen. Woo-hoo!
Hey, Ken. Good to see you. I love how you're switching now. This is so awesome.
Thanks. Well, you're watching. I got in trouble. I will tell everybody. I got in trouble in Ifat's group because she in our little Telegram group, our private Telegram group, she said, "Tell us what you're live streaming." So I said, "Okay, boys and girls, I'm live streaming Opportunity Thon." And like 12 hours later, I'm like, "Don't promote." I'm like, "Shit." It's like that's what we're doing. So I stopped.
Yeah.
Like silence, quiet.
So, yeah, no, because our community is now, what's fascinating about the event that you're just talking about, and we're going to share with you guys if you want access to it, is that we've built a very, very supportive community that helps people just get up and running with streaming, right? Because when you start out and you don't have a big audience and you're seeing yourself on camera and you're not used to this, it can be very scary to get started and be like, okay, who's seeing me? What am I saying? Nobody's showing up. I'm talking to the void. Nobody cares. Hi, Ralph. So that community is really, really awesome. They're showing up for each other. They're supporting each other. They're helping each other troubleshoot, which helps everybody kind of rise up their live streaming game. So if that's you, we'll tell you about it in a second. Oh, look at that. Switching shirts.
Caught me switching my shirt, Steve. How dare you?
This is live. This is the beauty of live.
And that's why he did it, that son of a gun. So he could prove it. But what you've done, Ifat, is really true. And it's important to demonstrate that. In the Telegram group, which is in here, well, it's in your phone too, if you're a member of it. There's so much engagement that to go back, I responded to a message that someone posted, I don't know how many hours ago. And it was like, Ifat was like, what's that about? And we had to go back, to find out where, the people are engaging to a heck of a degree. Now, we talked about engagement a minute ago with Warren. Ifat takes it to another level on the live stream side of things. And Ifat, I want you to kind of jump in and share with people how you're actually doing that. Because you've got a system that is so cool that when I heard you on Roland's podcast, it was like, we had to have Ifat on this, and because we go back years, and it's now I know it's like way back when we were both much younger. So
what are you talking about, man? I haven't aged a day.
Neither of you look great, kiddo. You don't look a day over 18.
Exactly, right? 21 plus, so I can drink.
When you said you had mommy time, I was like, really? You're that old to have children? Wow.
Right. At a young age, biblical times now.
Right.
Going back to the origins. So you like the system that, you want me to talk about the system that how we run it for people? Is that
sure? Well, what people have an issue with, and I had an issue, was engaging audiences so that they do participate, so they do play. When you're as a stage speaker, right? When I'm in an audience, hi guys. When they can come say hi. It's all good. When I'm in an audience and I can see the audience and I can see them whether they're excited or not, I can touch them on the shoulder, and we can have a whole bunch of fun together. It's more difficult to do that when you're one-to-many on a virtual event. I can feel Stephen Colbert's challenge when he's doing his monologue. There's no one to laugh, right?
Yeah.
So getting people to respond back, even with like our chat's doing pretty well, I'm really, really thrilled about that. But there's nothing worse than talking to crickets.
Yeah. And so one of the ways that, I talk about live streaming is fear of camera, right? And you just brought up Colbert, which is a great example of how it's hard even for those who are like super experienced. So if you're watching live late night host right now, Stephen Colbert, Bill Maher, what's his name? Trevor Noah, Ellen DeGeneres, right? I was on a call today with someone who said, you know, I love Ellen, but watching her from her house, she kills me. She's so boring. So you do need an audience because it's extremely difficult talking to a motionless camera. And because it's so difficult, nobody's doing it. Like nobody successful is doing it. If you're watching like Gary Vee, he's talking to his team who's behind the camera. He never, ever, ever did it alone. Even if you watch his first video, he never just talked to a camera. There was a guy behind the camera that was giving him emotional cues, right? Is it funny? Is it interesting? What's going on? And he can kind of gauge what the audience is doing. Bill Maher now is adding fake audiences to his videos because he needs that feedback, right? Like you tell a joke and there's an awkward pause. Nobody's laughing. You don't know how it came through. I think the only person who said he loves it is John Oliver, because he said he had worst day as a comedian, as a stand-up comedian, that now he's like, the silence is fine. Nobody's throwing any tomatoes at me, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard, right? Like, so it's not just hard for us, you know, everyday people just starting live streaming. It's difficult for everybody. The top people, it's hard. So how do you get over that? Right? What do? You do exactly what Ken is doing right now. You're having conversations. So we're switching from broadcasting, talking to our phone and just like a motionless camera, to having conversations in real time. And when you're not having a summit like this, right? And when you're not doing live interviews, bring your audience in, talk to your audience in real time. And that way you see their faces, you see if they're interested, you get their questions, and you build that emotional connection that really builds an audience and not just vanity numbers.
Cool. I was just switching something on the back end. You caught me. Dean, you caught me again. So, but you know, the fun thing about what I love about doing live like this is because people do get to see the transparency of it. You know, we know there's a green screen behind me. We know I've got lighting here. You know, the kitchen's like right there. And when we were able to move that around, I think it's a better personal connection.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And that is what endears me. When I watch TV, for example, I love watching the newscaster when they think that the cameras are off, or when they're doing their first ever show or their last sign-off show, when they finally take down the fourth wall and they're real. That's, to me, the biggest connection.
Yeah.
You know, so what would you say? I mean, you've got some tips on how to do that. Where do you see the opportunity in that right now, especially for people that are afraid, that don't feel they have a lot of value to add, the nervous people? You know, the on-camera thing, you know, all I can say to people about on camera, and you may have better tips than this than me, is like, just get over yourself, because you know.
But you know what? It's tough. Like, I'll be honest. When I first started 10 years ago with Google, I was one of the first one to get privileges for Hangouts on Air, and I started interviewing people like the former U.S. ambassador to the UN or the youngest president of the NAACP. I got butterflies, right? Like, I was like, oh, do I know what to ask? I don't know what to ask. And I had questions ahead of time. And nobody wants to look stupid when you're interviewing people. So it takes time. I remember at the beginning, Dell had these avatars that you can put on your camera in a regular software, kind of like virtual camera. And I was a black man. I was a black man with an Israeli accent, you know, because I wasn't comfortable on camera. And it takes time, like, you get over it. But what's easier is that if I'm not looking at the camera and I'm looking at you, Ken, and so now I forget the camera because all I'm doing is I'm focusing on the person right in front of me. Right. And you're saying something and I say something. And this is a perfect platform for introverts, because introverts are great listeners, right? Extroverts are like, la, 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 right? Yeah. Let me talk. I want to be center of attention. But introverts are fantastic interviewers. And so if you're an introvert, or if you're a little shy, this is perfect. Bringing the guest like me that has energy, let them talk. And then you have a fantastic show, exactly like what's his name? Warren was just saying, right? Yeah. Someone comes on your show, they think, and everybody else thinks, you know what it is they were talking about. It's so much easier. It's so much easier. I mean, it's like, hi, how are you? Okay. It's like you have Joel Bauer on, right? All you have to say is, hi, Joel. And then you can go have coffee. Let them talk, right?
Yeah. Because for 4 hours, you can go on holiday, you know.
Sometimes, right? So we do have this thing of like what it's like to be a good guest. and what it's like to be a good host, and remembering that you're not there to preach and it's a conversation, right? And let the host ask you a question. So learn to say some sound bites, shut the fuck up, right? Put some space, right? And let someone else come into the conversation. Otherwise, it's a lecture and people get bored watching like a talking head.
Yeah. And that's the same thing. Like what we're doing right now is we're changing camera from me as we are right now to Ifat, to the two of us together, and so on. Because I mean, if you watch, this is interesting. When you watch TV, if you watch TV or any movie with the sound off, watch it how quickly, how often the things change.
Yeah.
You know,
because we're in an ADD society right now. It's
oh my goodness. Yeah.
Really
yeah.
bad. Yeah.
We have to have that. But I guess the thing I want to say to everybody too is as we discuss this, don't be afraid of any of this. You know, I mean, if you decide that your model is that you don't want to be the star, that's cool. You know, someone like Ifat or me or any of our guests right now can take the whole thing and run it for an hour, no question.
Yeah.
If your model is presentation versus interview, and we're kind of quasi. I'm sort of like, let's get a couple of questions, let's talk about opportunity, and then just run with it and have fun, get the points out that we want to get made. A lot of times it depends upon who it is. I mean, like Ifat and I could talk for hours just because we're friends and we've had that relationship, right? So it really depends on what we want to give to the audience, what you want to give to your audience. You know, what captivated me about you, because we hadn't reconnected in a while, when I was doing one of my runs through the park with Roland, and you came along for the ride for free, no extra calories, no extra sweat, nothing. Right. You cheated, right? But it was good. And you were twice the speed, by the way. Can you imagine Ifat Cohen at twice the speed? Oh my God.
With the accent? Oh my God.
Yes, it was great. It was well done, but it's okay. But what you talked about relative to engagement and how you bring people along was really important. You want to touch on that a little bit in terms of how people can do that and can lead them to live streaming, because it wasn't just even live streaming; it was more than that you were really talking about.
Yeah, I think we're kind of like, internet marketing kind of messed up our relationships, right? Because it was set to just sell all the time, and what happened is, we have been broadcasting one way forever. So if you're thinking about this, when it first started, it was like mass emails, right? So you're sending the email and then everybody else is getting it. And there's not really a conversation unless they reply, but it's you talking at scale through text. And then it moved to teleseminars. So again, you on the phone talking to people at text. If it's direct mail, same thing. You're the one sending at scale, but it's one-way conversation. So teleseminars. Then it went to videos. Again, they're watching you and that's it. There's no conversation. Then it went to webinars. Same thing. You're talking, everybody else is listening, and there's no conversation. You pick the comments that you want to respond to. And sometimes, I mean, marketers have been guilty of even faking real-time engagement. They will have fake attendees and fake comments, right? And so it was always like this one-way communication of like, I'm on the podium, I'm talking to you people, I'm the smart one in the room. You guys need to come to me and buy my stuff because I know what I'm doing. And it has never, and even now with live streaming, it hasn't moved to two-way communication. Still, people go up, just like podcast, right? You come, you listen to me speak, and that's it. There's no response, right? You listen to that podcast. If you and I didn't know each other, you couldn't tell me what you liked about it, what you didn't like. You couldn't ask me questions, like nothing. There's the podcast, you listen and you're done. And so what we're missing in this online communication of us is that connection, right? So in our overly connected world, we are starving for connection. And you can see it more stronger now with Corona. Everybody's like locked in their houses, and all we crave is this connection, which is why Zoom kind of like bloomed, because now we have conversations with each other in real time using technology. So how about you're going to be that person that is not talking at people, but is talking with people. And you bring everybody on and you answer their questions and you engage with them in real time and you show them that you care. Because once you make that connection, price doesn't matter. People will become loyal. They'll refer you. They buy from you. They feel the value of what it is that you're giving them. And that will set you apart in the marketplace where everybody's just talking at each other. That's it's my feel. Connect, engage, and don't market, right? Don't broadcast.
Yeah, it's give that content and don't. I'll tell people don't be afraid, because you and I are coming from the same place. But for the people that are concerned, because some of the comments are, I was afraid, and I'm afraid to be on camera, and so on. I needed. Christine says I need a different face when I go live. I don't know that I buy that necessarily, but I do get the fear part. And
it's funny because I'm like, every time before I go live, I put my face on. White guys don't have to do that. They just like comb their hair, put a hat, and they're good. Women have to have the jewelry. We have to have the makeup, right? We have to get the hair done. It takes 20 extra minutes.
I will. You're one of your partners in crime. Did a video for you, as a matter of fact. No, actually, no, it wasn't for you. I think he promoted for you, which is how I ended up getting into your course. But when he was upselling his new software, his upgraded software for video sales letters.
Yeah.
And it's Sean Benson I'm talking about. Yeah. And Ifat created a whole thing. I want you to talk about what you did for him, because I think that was really, really important. But when John, you just had me think about this. When John got on camera, I didn't even recognize him. He looked horrible. So, I mean, beyond horrible. Oh my God. He had this hat on, and he hadn't shaved, and he was like, and he just claimed Corona, it's Corona, guys, the hell with it, but you look fabulous. You know what I mean? It's like, I get it. And I would never want to present myself that way.
Yeah, right. So there's different, like it's a level of comfort that you get with yourself, right? And then we get now TikTok, and people are there, or Instagram, right? And people are celebrating not having makeup on and just, bed hair, right? Or all that stuff. We're becoming more, it's very weird, right, Ken? Because on one hand, we have the filters where we kind of like get ourselves young and everything on Instagram. And on the other flip side, some people are completely comfortable with the phone right here, and you see every pore.
Yeah.
It's whatever your style is. But people are getting more comfortable with the camera, with TikTok and with Instagram and with StreamYard and with Zoom. So the real thing is like, don't worry about it. Be you. And if you're quiet, be quiet. It's fine. If you're bubbly, be bubbly. But just be you, because then you can keep it up for a long time, and you will attract the people that love your personality. And honestly, you don't need many, right? Like, you don't need a big audience to kind of live happily ever after.
Well, let's talk about that, because for people that are just getting started and don't have that audience and aren't even sure where to start, obviously you're adopting StreamYard, which obviously we're using, so I concur with that. But let's talk about, how does somebody start from really nothing?
Yeah, so I have a free training. It's called 4 Easy Ways to Build a Loyal Audience of Raving Fans and Hungry Buyers. And it's a story mode. I'll share it with Ken. You can grab it. It's completely free. The way that you get started is you become a problem hunter, right? So instead of posting and creating content, all that stuff, and hoping that people will see it, because everybody does that. Everybody goes and create content calendars and videos and all that stuff. And they're just starting out, and they're putting it out there. And because they're just starting out,
it's intimidating.
Yeah, but they have no audience, right? So you go and you create all this content, you put it out, you haven't built a following yet, so nobody sees it. And now you go like, it doesn't work, right? Like, I'm not getting anything. So instead, flip that over, right? Don't create any content. Go out there and start seeking problems. Meaning, if you are a hypnotist and you are helping people quit smoking, right? For 2 weeks, just go into all the groups and the blogs and the communities on Facebook and LinkedIn and the, Twitter and all these other blogs, right? And just read all the complaints that everybody's saying there, and help them out. Prove that you can actually help by actually helping. That's a Frank Kern thingy. Right. How do you show that you can help? Help. What a concept. So go there right, and find the problems, because people are talking about all these problems all the time. That's what we do online. And going there and be like, wow, Ken, you're struggling with smoking? I have a free thing there. Did you try that? You're like, no, let me try. And then you follow up. Hey, Ken, did you try that thing? How's it going? What's going on? You're like, I don't know. I'm doing this. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, hey, do you want to jump on a quick call and I'll see if I can help you out? Sure. You know what? A few other people have struggled with the same thing. You mind if we do this live so we can help other people? Sure. Now you got relationship, you got content, you got questions, you got everything done, and you didn't have to do anything but help someone.
That's good. And you don't need to prep it because you know what you're talking about. That's
exactly.
So smart. That's
and when you do it live, you become the authority because you're the one helping, right? You're showing what's going on. Everybody else sees you being that helpful. And then you get your next question and your next question and your next question. And then what happens? They start following you. They go like, oh, you had a problem? Go to Ken because he was helping me with that other stuff. Go ask him. And now you start getting introductions. And what happens is all these questions, now you know what people struggle with. If you keep getting the same question over and over again, now create a little, here's a guide. And then you give people the guide for free and you build your email list. And then from your email list, you start becoming a marketer. Or you sell them, you're like, oh, there's a great product. I know he's going to help you. It's not mine. Here's an affiliate commission. Now you make 20% of whoever buys. You don't have to support it. You don't have to create it. You don't have to do anything with it. You just have to share it with people. So,
that's brilliant. Because when Simon joins us, he'll be talking about affiliate marketing. One of my biggest concerns about affiliate marketing has been when you're selling other people's stuff, you haven't built your own branding, so you're giving it all away. But with your methodology right there, which is so,
thank you,
brilliant. Yeah. Don't let it go to your head. Just
I know.
Right. But it's so smart because now you built the tribe, and it does make sense. And you don't have to be. You're now the curator, so the pressure of creation is eliminated.
And John Lee Dumas is one of the few people who actually break down their monthly income. Like you can go to his website and see exactly how he makes his money. He makes about last month, I think it was $200,000. Most of that money came from affiliate commissions, not his own products.
Interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So if you go and analyze, and I challenge everybody, he does it, Pat Flynn does it. Most of the income comes from affiliate. And because it comes from affiliate, his profit margin is so high because he doesn't have to create anything. He doesn't have to produce it. Doesn't have to do anything, right? He just sends traffic, and he built such a strong following. He has a community, right? Fire Nation. Yeah. So that community trusts him. So every time he goes like, hey, this is the hosting you need. That's the hosting I need. This is the microphone you need. That's a microphone I need, right? And so you need to build that relationship first before you go like, hey, buy my shit.
Yeah. It's brilliantly simple, and that perspective makes a big difference. It makes a huge difference.
And it turns you from from a salesperson to a trusted advisor, and that's what we all want to be, right? We really want to make an impact, and we're stuck in this like, oh, I got to pay rent, so let me sell some stuff. So if you switch that into like, let me help more people, then you start getting people who want help and come to you for help and refer you for help, and life becomes easier. Very easy.
Yeah, for real. So where are you going these days? I mean, I know you've got the course we'll talk about in a second, but what's next for you?
I want to rule the world.
Well, I get that, and I'm with you on that. I want to follow you.
No, I want to teach. I want to teach people how to engage. I feel like in my gut, in my tummy, that there's so much suicide, there's so much loneliness, there's so much pain in the world, and there doesn't need to be, right? Because we have this technology where we really can connect with each other. And why are we not using it to connect? So where I'm going is I am training people on how to do exactly what I'm talking with you right now. How do you connect? How do you build that audience? How do you stay authentic to yourself? And while you do that, you're also building a business, you're building a life, and you're building a brand that will sustain you and help you grow. So that's my big vision. And I do it for like really, really high level clients. So my private clients, I set them up with their own TV show, and we bring them high caliber guests, and we monitor the show, and we run the show, and we produce it, and then we take that and turn it into content. So at that level, they don't need to do anything but show up, look pretty, and everything else is done. But then so many people came to me and like, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you do it? I want to go live everywhere. I want to do this, right? And so when I was trying to teach what I was doing, it was so overwhelming. People were like, I'll just stick with what I do. And finally, StreamYard came along, and I was like, oh, you know what? Here's a entry-level way where everybody can apply the principles and kind of gradually grow into what we're doing. So if I help you build your brand, engage with your audience, build your own audience, right? A strong, loyal audience, then eventually you get enough money that you're like, you know what? I got the money. Now I need the time. Let me pay someone else to do that. And I can just enjoy my family, my friends, my clients, other stuff. So I created this workshop that you were at this Monday, where it's not about knowledge. Knowledge is great. It's not about the information, but it's the hand-on application. Because a lot of people come, they grab the information, they go like, ooh, that's great. What's next? And they never apply, and they never get the skills, and they never get comfortable with the tech. And then, it's a waste. So we're really, really focusing on like applied knowledge. Come here, here's a safe group, here's a community, we're supporting each other. Go try it out, fail a little, succeed a little, do this together, and then build your own brand using live streaming and engagement.
You did a great job with it. And as we're running out of time, let me do a little bit of a promotion for you on that, because I've been through it. I paid to be part of it. Yeah. So there is, I can speak as a satisfied client. And this was the middle of the night, by the way. I was not happy about that because you catered it for those Americans.
I know, right?
I know. I was like, can I sleep? But no, it's an interactive thing. Damn it. So it wasn't, but here's the thing that was beautiful about it is that EFOT had everyone teaming up so that you partnered up and you were able to experience live streaming together and help each other through it, which was really helpful. You'll get to experience that when you pick up our program today. So I want you to think about that. StreamYard is really easy to use. Now, I say it's easy to use because we're using it, right? But there is a learning curve for people. I think it's among the easier learning curves, but EFOT makes it beyond easy. And I'll tell you, having 28 and a half hours more, actually maybe like 35 or whatever hours behind me coming into EFOT's program, there's still things that we learned. There's still things that I learned from that were very valuable.
What was your biggest takeaway? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, you son of a gun. I think I'm trying to think what was the biggest thing that I was taking. I'm trying to remember. There was so many. Some of it was like, how do we get Roland to play? Because we had trouble with that. Boy, oh boy, I hate when you did this to me. I think the biggest thing was just that it was really easy. There was one thing that really hit me, and I'm trying to remember what the hell it was, because it was one of those like, oh yeah, we can do that. And I forget.
Maybe the 7 ways to build an audience.
That was good. I screenshotted that, by the way.
You have the slides. You can just take the whole slides. Yeah.
But I screenshotted it anyway, because it was like, it was, and that was really powerful. So so whether you're getting started just now, whether you've used it before, it's well worth it, because even if it's just one little thing that can make your life easier, and it might have been the switching. No, you know what it was? It was some of the switching stuff. Like EFOT said, I'm gonna play with the thing right now. I think it was this. No, it was like, no, it was this.
No, it's side by side. Yeah. So this is the layout that you always want. Don't go to the other one. So switch to the other one where it's like this.
Yeah.
And this one kind of like grains us out, and it takes away, if you put a comment above it, then it blocks the bottom of us, right?
Yes. Yeah. And then it was also laying comments in as well, is like, if I'm putting a comment in, the comment will fit there. But if we did it like this, then it covers up. Covers up lower third. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff about that was just, it was common sense and about really fine tuning and finessing. And that's the difference between an amateur and a pro. So that was really great. We learned a lot. I mean, Dean taught me a lot. Now you added that extra chocolate. Right. It was whipped cream on top of Dean's chocolatey goodness. So that was really, really very, very, very helpful. Thank you so much, EFOT Cohen. You're amazing. Let's give EFOT a gigantic big hand. Woo, baby. All right. I'm going to have to start doing like the Ellen dance coming through.
I stand for love. Do you?
Hey, this is Captain Lou, and I stand for love, baby. Do you?
Do you?
Do you?
Do you?
Yes. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you?
Hey, it's Ken with World Love Week, and boy, are you in for a treat. Coming up next is one of my favorite speakers, so I want you to fasten your seatbelts, stay tuned, and get ready to rock and roll for another amazing segment. But think about this for just 1 minute. How many amazing segments have you missed so far? You know, we have a full week of content for you. Scores of speakers, incredible amounts of content, great love to share. And I want you to have every single bit of it. And the reality is that unless you access the recordings later on, you're going to miss a ton. Because I don't know about you, but I surely can't stay awake for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So here's what I recommend. Go to the dashboard, worldloveweek.com/dashboard, and grab yourself the VIP option. Get it right now while you can at the best price ever. You'll thank yourself. Our next guest is one of my favorite people, and I met her last year on a cruise in the Caribbean. We were cruising together, which is why we were on a cruise in the Caribbean. And her reputation precedes her. She is just a bundle of energy. You've seen her on TV, on infomercials, and in a variety of different formats. She's big on health. She's big on energy. She's big on life. And I'd say she's just a humongous inspiration. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us give a gigantic welcome to the incredible George Riley.
Yay, the crowd goes wild. We're so used to having audiences. Thank you all so, yeah, okay, thank you. So I got dressed up, which is something that people are not doing during this.
Yeah,
feeling glamorous.
You do, you know, it's so different than when I saw you the other night, you know, when you were just like, awesome.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was also half naked and not. No, I'm sorry. What was I doing the other night?
It was good. It was good for me. I needed a cigarette afterwards, and I don't smoke, so it was.
This was
really
another conversation. Hey, I've been watching you guys. I love Raquel. I love Les. I couldn't hear Roland, which actually, you know, kind of surprised me because I listen to that man. When he gets talking, you can't stop him.
That's right.
We've got amazing guests on here.
Thank you. Well, you're among them, and we're thrilled to pieces. We're thrilled to pieces that you're here. And let's jump in because we have a limited amount of time, and you have a ton of great stuff to share. Yeah, you do because you've done so many different things.
You know what? Let's just start with mindset. Let's just start with how you get through whatever's challenging you. So I am turning the big 60. I'm turning 60 tomorrow night. I just think that's crazy. But I will share with you that in my life, I've seen lots of ups and downs. And so some people are shocked by what's going on, and some people are doing just fine. You have to ask yourself, how are you going to handle it? Ken, how are you handling it right now?
I think it's a great time. I'm actually busier than I've been. Most people that I'm talking to are busier than they've been.
Right. But you somehow gave yourself permission. And this is a big theme in my life that as a gift, I actually have a steel card that I give to people that says, I hereby grant you permission to, and you fill in the blank, and you carry this card with you. Because so often you wanted to do something, you had the opportunity, but you didn't jump into it. Do you find that that's true?
Yeah, a lot of times we miss those opportunities, and whether it's because of fear or time, all the bullshit excuses.
Right. So I love when people look at me and go, wow, Forbes, you have it all together and you're so successful. And I will tell you, if you look at me on the internet, that's exactly what you see. And that's exactly what you should see. Yep. You don't need to see the other side. That's what I actually reserve for people who come to listen to me personally, because it's how you can see the mountain. The mountain looks beautiful. The question is, if you're standing at the bottom of it, how do you climb it? And those are things, those are blueprints that I share. I share on social media. I share when I teach. I share for free on my radio show weekly. And I think if you are wondering how you get there, now is the greatest time ever. Because every one of us who's gotten there, and I say because I'm a little further down the road than most people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. I cannot believe that I've become that. Is that you want to, success leaves clues. So go and find us, find a mentor, whether you meet us in person or not. Although I would seek out that most of us are now offering trainings and courses and ways to access us or coming on Ken's show, because you may have never heard of any of us, which is interesting because we've been plodding along. You and I, 2 years on the marketer cruise, masterminding, sharing ideas, understanding digital marketing. How does this whole Zoom, I've been Zooming for the last 10 years. I guess yesterday were 20 million people on Zoom. Now there's 200 million people. And by the way, I can see you, Christine. You guys can ask questions. A couple things about me. I started out in Long Island. Luckily, I had two wonderful parents. I will say in a lot of work that I do, a lot of the reasons that we're not successful comes from our past, comes from decisions that we made about life when we were little, before we could realize we made decisions. Somewhere somebody said something negative to us, and so we carry this burden of I'm not enough. Who do you think I am? I'm not white, I'm not black, I'm not thin, I'm not tall, I'm a woman. I can give you every excuse in the book, but I don't care about any of those. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you permission to be wildly successful. And successful doesn't actually have to do with money. Success has to do with a mindset. And I learned this one from a girlfriend of mine. So I'm actually very shy, which is why, by the way, I love this computer thing, because I don't actually have to talk to people really. I can talk to you. But when I'm I like small talk, I like inspiration. I like motivation. That's one reason I decided to be a speaker. But when I first got to Los Angeles, I just bought my first little car. It was like a yellow Toyota Camry. I pull up to this Beverly Hills, party, and I was invited there. I'm an actress. I've been on Broadway. I've been on soap operas. And the thing that gnawed at me was I was always fighting my weight. Now, at a professional level like that, I will tell you that it caused me so much grief. I was on Broadway with Christopher Reeve, the original Superman, and I had to go to Overeaters Anonymous. Now, I wasn't obese. I was just 15 pounds overweight. And I just could never shed that. I lost the lead in a movie opposite Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. The director, the guy who directed the movie Rocky, John Avildsen, personally called me on the phone, said, "We just love you. Could you drop some weight?" I hate to be the one to say that. And I couldn't at that time. I didn't understand how you do that. I didn't understand my relationship with food. And it was devastating. And then I've been bullied a lot. So I carry that, even at this age and however I look, I still carry this little negativity voice in the back of my head. Well, a lot of you carry it to the point of sabotaging yourself. And you're at a certain age and you're like, wait a second, I want to do this. I see them doing it. Why can't I do it? And I'm going to encourage that a lot of what you're dealing with is baggage that you didn't even realize that you were carrying on a plane. They take 2 bags, you're carrying like 82 bags, and they won't let you on the plane with it. And you're struggling, not with anyone else, but actually within yourself. So there's some secrets to doing that. One, I teach a thing called Forbes Factor. I actually like to get into people's brains and just shift them. Being a hypnotist and an NLP expert and understanding that you could suffer for the rest of your life if somebody doesn't fix it, and it's not on a therapist couch. No, we need to get in there. We need to figure out what your first memory is. What decision do you make about life? And if it's not serving you. And then, Ken, this is the thing that I think disturbed me most about the work that I've been doing the last 18 years, is that a lot of people I talk to have been physically hurt. They have been molested. They've been touched. They've been something. Actually, I can see these questions right here. And I come to understand that if that's what you're carrying with you, you carry this little damaged part with you that you're always trying to fix. And you sometimes fix it with alcohol and drugs and wrong people. And you go, well, how come I attract all that? It's actually not your fault. Not your fault. What am I, like from New York? It is not your fault. Don't get me started. I'm tired too. And it's fixable. I'm just going to throw this out there. With the sound of my voice, at any point that you hear this, know that if that pain is something that you carry in your heart and it's having an effect on your life, it is fixable, okay? So before you decide to do something terrible, I want you to think for a moment that every memory that you've got in your head right now isn't real. It's a movie you saw. And worse than that, it's a movie that you saw and you keep telling people it as though it's the truth. You can actually change those memories. I've taken people, Ken, who have a trauma and replace that image. Kind of like, I have this vision that your brain is like a computer screen. If I say high school, Ken, what's the first that comes up? You're thinking of movies and videos and documents and people, right? Kind of like you would do on a file in a computer screen.
Right.
Well, but there's an operating system to every computer. And one of the problems is, first, if you've got a negative file, somehow in your head, we like to put a big bow on it. You ever meet somebody who says, oh, let me tell you about what's happening to me?
Oh my God, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because they're carrying that file.
It's like a competition.
What if you could take that ugly file and put, like you do on a screen, and you put a different file in front of it? And all of a sudden, you didn't erase the memory, but you don't see it every time your brain thinks this. So one of my clients comes to me, and her dad was murdered many years ago in a horrible drug deal gone wrong, and she witnessed it. So every time Father's Day comes up, she goes into a deep depression. Anytime anybody mentions the word, she has an issue. You know what we did? We replaced her dad. Now, this is many years ago, and forgive me for this, but she wanted the perfect dad. She wanted Dr. Huxtable. She didn't want Bill Cosby. No, I'm not talking about him. But she wanted what she saw on TV as this loving, embracing father. And through a combination of hypnosis and just talking about it, we took this horrible vision of her dad, made it really small, and put it right behind Dr. Huxtable. And so every time she sees dad or father, she's like, she would smile now. She didn't even know why she smiles. But it's this kind of fixing that fixes the rape, the hurt, the molestation, the things that you've been carrying with you. You need to know that you are this insane motorboat that wants to go. You're on Opportunity-thon right now because you want to give your motorboat gas and you're going. But what you don't realize is there's an anchor behind you, really heavy anchor stuck in mud. And you're going, you're like, but how come I'm not going anywhere? What if we could say, look, we could just cut that chain. And then you get to go and enjoy this life that I believe that we were all meant to enjoy.
Yeah. That whole concept, it got me speechless. That whole concept is absolutely true. And we are our own worst enemies. One of the things I wanted to do with this weekend was certainly talk tips, strategies, and, how to get more clients and all this business. But at the end of the day, unless we take care of the foundation, there's nothing to strategize. We've taught people, you and I have taught people for decades. And I see people that would come to some of my seminars and they'll come and I would do the national tour. So I would be back every 3 months or so with the same 90-day lecture, come and buy real estate with no money down, this and that. And I would see sometimes the same people back over and over. And finally I'd be like, because I just can't deal with it. I was like, no, go home. Don't waste your time. Because unless you do something, why are you here? You already got the free book 3 times. So step up or do something different that's going to charge you up. People need to do that.
Here's the thing. There's not a lot of environments where you can radically change what you're doing. I've been to Tony Robbins. Tony does it really well. I haven't been to many other trainings where you can actually shift, because you're right. You are always you whenever you come to an opportunity. And why is it usually successful people always seem to win? So I'll give you a couple little stories. I didn't start out very glamorous. I started out as a kid who at 8 years old, I got hit with a baseball bat and my nose grew off the side of my face. I had a really ugly broken nose. I sucked my thumb. I had braces for most of my life, like 8 years. I had a full set of braces and they had a tongue toucher. And at some point I talked like this in school.
Oh,
I
wow.
had frizzy hair. I was grew up in New York, lots of, humidity. And I was about 30, 40 pounds. I was chunky. All right. My mom was 260 pounds my whole life. We loved to eat. We did Kentucky Fried Chicken. We did McDonald's. That was the age and we didn't have a lot of money. Then when I was 14, my dad slipped and had a horrible industrial accident and cut off the front of his hand. And so he spent 3 years in the hospital. I tell you this not to impress how horrible this was, but that I managed to get through this. And I don't know that when I was going through it, I enjoyed it very much. But looking back, all of these lessons and all of these overcome is part of what's prepared me for the COVID weirdness. So my mom then says, hey, we have no money for college. I was a very smart kid. And this is an interesting thing. I actually pretended not to be smart for a long time because you would alienate people. And all I wanted to do was light. I just wanted to be pretty. That was my whole, you're a girl, you're a little girl, right? And I was an awkward little girl, but inside I knew I was amazing. It took me a long time to figure that out. A couple of things happened. One, my mom said there's this pageant and they're offering a scholarship. And my dad's doctor overheard this and offered to fix my nose for free. I was 15, I had my nose fixed. I will tell you, I'm a huge fan of plastic surgery. Not massive, but just a little bit. If that could help your outside feel like your inside, that was amazing. The braces came off and I entered this pageant and I ended up winning. I ended up in the Miss Teenage America pageant as Miss Teenage New York. And the reason all that happened partly was because, one, I wanted it so badly. So today we teach about you've got to want something so specifically in order to get it. Ken, within weeks, you decided to put on an opportunity-thon. You had a vision and an execution. Too many people sit around going, I want to write a book, I want to do that, but they never do. They never take action. The second thing is, why are you doing it? And so I was kind of saving my family. My why was very important. My dad and my mom had been through so much. I wanted to be the cheerleader to make their lives better. That was more powerful why than anybody else in that competition. And it drove me to do that. And so those little things kind of just shift everything, right? You have to get those things in alignment. I was going to go on with a different story about how also your course changes as you get older. If you're lucky enough to learn, to suffer. So what happened for me was I was left with a lot of time to dream. I watched a lot of television. You and I are the same age. I'll bet you I can go toe to toe with you on trivia from Partridge Family, F Troop, I Dream of You, The Munsters. These were my friends. Brady Bunch. I know, right? On and on. And then I watched a lot of movies, and I watched trust me, an Oscar night every year growing up, that's what I wanted to do. Well, funny enough, I think I wanted it so much. When I was 16, I ended up at the Oscars. And it's a crazy story how that happened, but I wanted it. I wanted that glamorous lifestyle. And beyond that, so I actually became friends with a lot of the people. I know this sounds crazy. I don't have a how did I do it. I didn't know anybody, but Florence Henderson Brady Bunch became one of my best friends. Richard Hatch from Battlestar Galactica. These guys actually somehow popped out of my dreams and my TV screen into becoming my friends because I wanted it. The other thing I wanted was to understand about money. My dad's hospital room actually overlooked the only mansion in my hometown in Oceanside, Long Island. We all had little houses, and there was this house that was behind all these cypress trees. You couldn't really see it unless you kind of peek through. But my dad's hospital room overlooked this giant red brick stone mansion with a massive driveway, the circular driveway, and 2 giant chimneys. And I very clearly remember being a little girl thinking, wow, what's Halloween like when you go to that house? Do they give you like full candy bars? Or what? But those are the thoughts that I had. And I wanted that so much so, I guess, that it drove me that when I was out of college, I ended up becoming a social secretary for the Grace family. Now, you asked me, how did you do that, Forbes? I went to the newspaper, looked up want ads, and somehow found it. I also didn't even know what a social secretary was, but luckily enough, neither did Mrs. Grace. She liked my energy. She liked my attitude. And the truth is, all I really wanted to be was an actress. I was kind of using them, and they were using me. Who knows, right? One day we're in the car driving out to the club. I think, and we grew up in a 1,300 square foot house on Long Island with 1 bathroom, not very glamorous. And we're driving out there, and Mrs. Grace turns to me and said, "You need to get Louis Vuitton out of the trunk." And I'm like, "Who's in the trunk?" And she looks at me and she's like, "Oh, you'll learn."
Oh, wow.
And that's what I did, Ken. I spent a lot of my life understanding, what does that mean? What is the differentiation between money, what people want, driving fancy cars, owning clothes, having relationships? I made a lot of my own decisions then that a lot of it wasn't worth it. Like, I would never buy a $1,200 pair of shoes like she did, ever. I would buy the $100 pair of shoes, which for my house was a lot of money for my mom.
Sure.
But I would take the $1,100 and give it to charity, or like I do, I give it to Dress for Success. I help other people. I understand, coming from no money and seeing what money can buy and how frivolous some people can be. How do you make that work for you? And then I had some crazy wants. Like, I always wanted a built-in swimming pool. An in-ground swimming pool meant that you made it. And sure enough, from the time I could buy my very first house, that was the big requirement for me to feel rich. So let's play a little game, you guys, because enough theory, right? All right. Here's what I want to talk about. I call it Grubhub. In fact, I have a little free book I'm going to give you guys. I wrote the principles down. The first one is Grubhub. If I asked you, Ken, what you want, what did you say? What do you want?
What do I want?
Yeah, what do you want?
I want a relationship.
Okay. What do you want?
Oh, we're going to do that. Okay. I want a loving relationship. I've done this exercise before. Yeah.
No, but so here's the deal. In my world, you can't say 2 things. You can't say I don't know, and you can't repeat yourself. So what do you want?
Right. Okay. What do I want? I want more money.
You want more money. See, now here's the problem with more money. If the angels are listening to you, you want more than what? That's a terrible want.
Thank you.
And I want all of you to hear that.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't want more money. Here's $1, Ken. Now you have more money. Be careful what you wish for, because the angels in my world, they're listening. How did I get to work for a billionaire? I wanted it. So, Ken, what do you want?
World peace.
Well, actually, because of this virus, you got it. What do you want?
A healthier body.
Again, with a healthier.
Yeah,
Ken, I'm going to tell you something. No, I got to tell you what you want. And all of you listening need to know this, because I want you to be wildly successful. You got to exactly want. You got to say, I want to have 8% body fat, this kind of muscle mass. If you want that, 2 things happen. 1, you'll know when you get it. And 2, you'll have a roadmap. For you to say and go, I want a healthier body, I want more money. How ridiculous. That's like calling, hey, Grubhub. Yes, ma'am, what do you want? I would like some food. Okay, what do you want? I want a hamburger. Oh, no, I had a hamburger yesterday. I want Chinese, not Chinese, maybe French. Ma'am, listen to this. Call us back when you know what you want. And they hang up on you. Yeah. Or, this is the most important thing I'm going to say to you guys. Hey, Grubhub. Yes, ma'am, what do you want? I want a Caesar salad, extra chicken, croutons on the side. Do you know what shows up at your door in 20 minutes? Caesar salad, extra chicken, croutons on the side. How did they know? Because you asked for what you wanted. So for all of you out there right now, you all prayed and wanted Monday not to have to go to work. You wanted more time with your family. You wanted world peace. Well, hallelujah, guess what? You got it. Now, it didn't look exactly like you planned it, but you did get it if that's what you wanted. Now, let's realign your wants. I want to learn a new skill. I want to reconnect with my family. I want to come out of this exercise and whatever's going on in our world, a richer person, maybe internally or by education. I want to connect deeper with people, shift and understand what you want and stop using the word more. Yeah. The wow, what do you want? Because when you do that, I want to earn $10,000 a month every month. I want to master the art of investing options. I'm working on that. I didn't know anything about money before. I want to have my book and my other books hit a bestseller. I want everyone in America and all around the world to have a spin gym so they can get their healthy bodies. And then, by the way, you start telling people what you want. How do you think Ken got Opportunity-thon? He started saying, I want this event. And we all went, what? Yeah, I want it. And I want you to tell me how much time you want, 5, 20, or not, how much time. And you did this because you very clearly knew what you want. You talked to your designer. You got what you wanted.
Yeah.
When I was looking for the next love of my life, I had the courage to ask for the most outrageous things in the world. I wanted somebody to roll over in the morning and look at me with my frizzy hair and mascara on my face and my bad breath and say, you are the most beautiful thing in the world. My ex used to say, what, did a bear shit in your mouth? Ooh. Yeah, that was not what you can tolerate, you get what you tolerate. Yeah. I then said I wanted someone who looked like he walked off the cover of a romance novel. Look up Joshua Self on Instagram and see if that man isn't Captain America. I wanted that. I didn't want to settle. I'm turning 60. I don't want a 6-year-old man who looks like yesterday's news. I want somebody young and vital. And I wanted it so much. And then here's the crazy thing. I didn't go to a bar. I didn't go to Tinder. You know what I did? I just wanted it. And I believed, and I would put pictures on my vision board. I did all those things that some of you guys think that we're crazy for doing. And then I talked to people about it. And guess what? I'm in Vegas in a hotel room with my videographer shooting a workout video for my spin gym. Asked me about this. This is the greatest fitness product ever. And my videographer says, hey, do you want a 2-time Mr. Arnold physique guy to come over and work out with us? I'm like, at 6 o'clock in Las Vegas? You're kidding. An hour later, Joshua walked through the door. Wow. That's the epitome of manifestation. And Ken, here's what we call it in my world. We ask you, and I'm going to ask all of you, from Christine and all the people watching right now, what have you Forbes'd lately? What have you manifested, especially when nobody thought that you could? What have you Forbes lately? And I ask people that all the time. Ken, I've got millions of people around the world on my Facebook. I just hit 1.6 million on my Facebook fan page saying, hey, Forbes, I Forbes this. I Forbes Opportunity-thon. I Forbes selling my course. I Forbes a sexy body. My question to you, and I'm going to leave you guys with this today, is what have you Forbes lately?
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It does elevate your life to another level.
It does. It absolutely does.
You know, if I played my old game, here's a picture. Can you guys see that picture of me of Santa Claus right there?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, that's my belly.
Whoa.
That white thing. I wanted babies. It was right after 9/11 happened. I lost both my parents within a year. And I was pretty devastated. I was 41 years old, which is pretty old by the time you want kids. And I said to the universe, I said, I want a baby. More than anything, I don't even want to be here without a baby because I don't understand what life is about, with losing both my parents, losing a lot of friends during 9/11. My brother-in-law was a New York City fireman, and that's what I wanted. Well, the funny thing about that is that within a month of saying that, there was a little ad in my health newsletter that offered a $10,000 coupon, I guess, for in vitro. I wanted something, and it showed up. And it showed up in the most beautiful way. So I'm going to give this gift to you guys. Take a moment. Get quiet in yourself. The world is quieter than it's ever been. There's very little noise of airplanes. There's very little distraction if you want. I know a lot of you have kids running around. Find and carve out this space for yourself. Introduce yourself to yourself. Going, hey, Forbes, nice to see you. Yeah. So let me ask you a question, Riley. What do you want right now? I'm going to start to cry. What do you want? You know, I want to make sure that I leave a legacy. I want to make sure that when you introduce me, that you got all excited. There was a time when nobody wanted me. You know, who was I? I was not well known enough. I wasn't famous enough. I worked very hard to matter because that's what I want. When I decided what I really wanted, here's what it sounded like. I wanted every day for someone to tell me that I inspired them.
Yeah.
That means you have to work really hard at putting material out there, at taking coaching, at giving your heart so that people say, hey, Forbes on Facebook, thank you for inspiring me today. I live for those moments. That has made my life, after all the things I've gone through, that makes it matter and makes me successful. I didn't tell you how much money I have in my bank account. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I wanted that too. But the thing that I wanted most is to actually impact people. And because of you, Ken, and your whole team, thank you for letting me do my job today.
Well, thank you. You know, you've done the same thing for me, and it works. It does work both ways. This has been a labor of, to say labor of love is the wrong thing to say, because there's no labor here. I mean, it's been a lot of work for sure, and a lot of no sleep, but I'm having the time of my life.
I know you are. I can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it is so much fun, and it's fun knowing that people are seeing it. They're excited about it. The relationships that I'm creating with new people and people like you that I haven't seen in a long time, where we may be doing some collaboration and so on. There's so much that it's phenomenal. And so my challenge to you guys watching is to take this in whatever fashion you choose to take it and do something, because sitting there and doing nothing will get you exactly that, zero. Now, sitting still in stillness and meditating allows for things to happen. Meditation is what created this event, you know, on this very meditation cushion.
Oh,
right? For real. Yeah, it's great. My friend Johnson made it, who will be speaking later today.
You can auction that off. This is the cushion that my ass sat on. That's interesting.
That's right. It's the very one.
And so a couple of things real fast before I go. Every day at noon, I have been doing a free training with my spin gym, literally working out. I got to tell you, this is the coolest thing in the world. It's a free training. If you want to find me, I'm Forbes Riley anywhere on the internet, but go to Free Gift from Forbes Riley. I've got some tips on actually making money. I'm also involved with the gentleman. If you show up there or find me on social media, ask me about a friend of mine just does this training. It's like under $50 that I just took about how to master all the ins and outs of affiliate marketing, little things about actually how you can generate money right now online, not having to change anything in your life. I suggest we all go through this and become very aware of how affiliate marketers make extra money. I mean, you can just generate thousands of dollars. And if you don't know how, you're kind of missing the boat right now. So I'm a huge fan of that. And then tomorrow night, after all of this craziness is over and Ken is exhausted,
That's right.
I have a birthday party. The birthday party is at www. Happy Birthday Forbes. It's going to start at 7 o'clock. I've got tap dancers and singers, and we're going to dress up and party. But if you can, at 8 o'clock Eastern, I'm going to invite all of you, and only 100 people fit on my Zoom, but to come and bring a candle at 8 o'clock that night. And if you can put it in a cake, that's great. But I want to make a wish with all my friends. I want us to have this kind of group wish where we blow this out and just touch my heart. I only turned 60 once. I'm going to be silly about it. I'm here with my kids. I know we're safe and happy. Please don't feel guilty if you're happy, by the way. If you're not in a hospital and you're not sick right now, enjoy the moment, because this is the only moment you're going to get, and you never know when it ends. So don't waste it. Turn off the news. HappyBirthdayForbes.com. I know it's crazy, but somewhere between 7 and 8, you're going to sing and dance at 8 o'clock. We are making a wish because Ken would want your wish to come true because you wanted world peace, and so do I.
Yep. Amen. Love you, darling. You are awesome. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Forbes Riley.
All right, I'm going to be watching you guys. I'm on your group, so if you guys want to talk to me, I'm on the watch club. Denise O'Brien, I love you.
So that was just another amazing World Love Week session. Now, a lot of our sessions have come from Opportunitython, which was our record-breaking event, which we did a few months back. Now, Opportunitython really focused about the opportunities that are presenting themselves during the time of pandemic. And frankly, what a great way to have an attitude of love, of sharing, of giving, of contribution. I stand for love. Do you?
I stand for love. Do you?
Hey, this is Captain Lou, and I stand for love, baby. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Yes. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you?
Coming up next is a classic interview with the incredible Raquel Sharper, who has the sharpest personality of anybody I know. She's pretty incredible, and you're going to love her. This is a classic representation of Opportunity-thon, which was held over April of last year. And it's just one of those classic ones that I wanted to make sure I shared with you right now. So fasten your seatbelts, stay tuned, and take lots of notes for the incredible, juicy, loving goodness of Raquel Sharper. Ladies and gentlemen, good where I am in lockdown. And I want to share with you that you are about to be introduced. You've met her a little bit before, but right now you're about to spend some time with one of the coolest people I know. She is bright and funny and has a message that will enlighten you and bring you lots and lots of money and fun and passion and better health, because the more you laugh, the better your organs fit. So ladies and gentlemen, with that said, let's put your hands together and give a big virtual clap. Let's give her the virtual clap. She needs to have that. The amazing, outstanding, outrageous, out of sight, but definitely in mind, Raquel Sharper. Woohoo!
Yay! Awesome. Awesome. I am so happy to be here. Oh, thank you, Ken. So we are basically really right across the world. What time is it in Australia right now?
It is 7:43 in the morning. And,
nice.
and we have just dated the time, so we can only use this video at 7:43 in the morning at any time we ever use it again.
We could use, oh yes, true. But if you just said 7:43 and you didn't say in the morning, then we could use it twice.
Well, it wouldn't work because it's too much light, but it's okay.
Okay.
It is what it is.
True.
It is.
Excellent.
It is. And by the way, I do want to shout out to Dean Hankey for the Hanky Panky that he did just prior to this. One of my favorite stingers that he's used. He created that. He was up all night making that, singing the song and everything.
That is awesome.
Yes, it is. It's wonderful to have friends like that. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit, Roxelle. Yes, Roxelle. That's your drag name, Roxelle. Hi, I'm Roxelle. So let's talk a little bit about you. You're from New York originally.
Yes.
That's where we get along, because I'm from New York originally. So what's your thing? What makes you you, and why do people come talk to you?
People come and talk to me because there's something special about, I don't know if it's special about all New Yorkers, but we're basically straightforward to the point. We're basically very authentic. Sometimes we'll say things that we're thinking and you'll be like, oh, I can't believe you just said that. And then my response would be, well, it's true. So part of that is refreshing, and it's about just being real. And people look for people to be authentic these days. They look for people to just tell them like it is. They don't want to go around to the end of a maze and find that there's nothing there. So that they look for that, and they want you to basically be real for them. And I'm real. If I fall down, I let you know I fall down. When I get up, I let you know I've gotten up. And I just recently even did a post because I actually gained 15 pounds in 1 year, and actually I lost 19. And I did that post, and I wasn't feeling good about myself. And when I was taking a picture, I had to go, and then you smile and you can't breathe. I don't know if anybody could relate to that, right?
Yes.
Because you're trying to suck it all in. And it's funny, every picture I was taking, I was doing that. And I was like, well, there's something wrong with that. So I recently lost the weight. They say diet is 80% of it. I'm going to tell you diet is 100% of it. And it's just about being real and authentic. It really, truly is. And I started off on basically the normal journey, get a job, get that education. That's what I did. And they told me that if you did that, it works. And, followed that. It took me years to learn how to become a computer programmer. I spent a lot of time and effort doing that, only to find out, just like Mark Harris said and Ben Gay said, this has happened before. Maybe not with the coronavirus, but when you lived in New York, if you were there when 9/11, this happened. And I was working as a computer consultant. And then the towers got hit by an airplane. And then there was no work. A city that was always busy, that would always have work for me as a computer consultant, there was no work. There was no money coming in. And I'm truly thankful that I had money in the bank for that rainy day that I never thought was going to happen, right? And that's actually how I found Las Vegas. That was the blessing, because there was absolutely no work in New York. And then I ended up coming out to Las Vegas for work, like within a month, and had to juggle things around. I had to do things differently. And while I was here, I thought, wow, this is a great place to be. I think I want to retire here. Well, I'm too fabulous to be retired, but I am in Las Vegas.
You're too fabulous for this TV show right now, actually.
I think we're both fabulous, but we're doing this because it's a give back and it's the opportunity. So
what is it? So what are you doing now? I mean, you did the computer thing, but right now, what's the big focus? Because I know that some of the bonuses that you've given us, and this isn't a pitch for the bonuses, but in looking at the things that you have generously given to the folks that have gotten the VIP package, there's a lot of lead generation stuff in there. There's a lot of things that I find really important in terms of building a business. So let's talk about that for a little bit, because I think now, especially for people that are looking to be in a business, and are afraid that, gee whiz, I don't know where to find people. I don't have a list. I don't have a community. I'm just getting started. I don't know what the hell to do. It's not a matter of having an online business. I don't know what to do at all. And if that's you, by the way, pop that in the chat and let us know that that's you. But that's really the bottom line. So let's talk about that piece and how that's worked for you and what lessons there are there.
So, and that actually is my passion. It's the newbie, because I started off in corporate America, and it's making that jump. I did not really truly enjoy being a computer programmer. I enjoyed the people and I enjoyed the money, right? So what we're told is that we aren't supposed to enjoy when we're actually working. But what if you could enjoy when you're working? And that's where the light went on. I was actually commuting into work and I saw this sign and it said, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Think about that. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I remember I was commuting into work and I thought, well, how do you do that? Right? So in this time frame of being home, because I do love what I do, and I'm never retiring because I love what I do. I recently also interviewed Les Brown. I asked him when he was going to retire. I already knew the answer, because anybody who's on this event as a speaker loves what they do and they give from a place of passion. So one of the things I love to do is I love to help people figure out what they do, what they love to do, and then we can figure out how to monetize it. Like, why not make money doing what you love? That just makes sense. Like, that's so logical, right? Isn't that logical, Ken?
Works for me, but here's a challenge with that. I will challenge you on that, and that is, I mean, we've all heard, do what you love, and money will follow, right? But what if you don't know what you love?
True. And that means, and that's the huge challenge, because I didn't know what I loved. And you bring that up. I was told, hey, you do this, you do computers, you make money. Somebody had to push me in front of the room. So if you don't know what you love, start trying to do something new. Things that even might scare you, but have you be a little uncomfortable, because you could do something and then decide that you totally love it. I didn't start really speaking until I was in my late 30s. Before that, if you asked me about being a speaker or standing in front of a room empowering people, I was like, oh no, that's not me. But you have to try new things. One of the things, and I'll share this because Ken didn't call me out. He asked me to sing the song and I was just like, oh gosh, I've done karaoke twice. One, I was really drank too much. And I was around my right circle of friends. So I got lovingly pushed into it. And I wasn't by myself. I've never karaoke'd by myself. I've only done it in the company of a we. And success is a team sport. So when Ken told me to like sing by myself, I was like, ooh, you know, I'm like, no. I was like, we're not doing that, right? So it's okay to be scared, but find those new things and try them. If it's something that intrigues you, and in that trying, you might just like it. And next thing you know, now you got to figure out how to monetize it.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. So that being said, I had created, hey, build your irresistible yes with that free magnet, that free lead magnet. You give somebody a gift of your time, a gift of your present, a gift of doing that thing. And here's a cool hint on how you can figure out what you love. Is there something that you do right now that your friends champion you and say, oh my God, you're really great at that. But you don't actually take credit for it because you do it with such finesse, effortlessly. That's probably your passion. And people are like calling you out and saying, oh my gosh, you do this really well. And what happens is we're raised to be humble, right? And that's actually one of the gifts. Is I did a podcast interview and they talked about self-confidence, because a lot of times we won't do anything is because we lack the self-confidence. And the more we do something, the better we get at it. Think about your first time behind the wheel of a car. Think about the first time you've had sex. We got to make this fun, right? I'm sorry. Yes, I just said that. Did I wake anybody up? And, if we're all the single people home, don't think about the first time you had sex. Don't even think about having sex.
Especially if you're alone in lockdown. Thanks very much for reminding me.
Right. And they have something called virtual dating. Like before the coronavirus, nobody did the virtual dating. There's actually businesses that are pivoting. Like Ferrari is making ventilators. Armani is making scrubs for health care workers. So like these are companies that are, 9-figure earners, $10 billion companies that have shifted on the dime to do something that's totally out of character. You could buy a car that's $250,000 from Ferrari, but nobody's buying Ferraris right now. So what is Ferrari going to do? They're making ventilators. Think about that. And what is that shift that they had to do? I call that the Sharper shift. So my hashtag is I am Sharper. So do these. So I want to see that. I want to see hashtag I am Sharper, because that's about showing up, being empowered, and being better than you were yesterday. Because that's what this time is meant for. That's what we're meant to do. Be better than what we were yesterday.
Yeah, that really is true. Each day should grow on itself. And if we can learn one thing, and even when you talked about the dating piece, right? It really does. There's a commitment you got to make, and am I bigger than this? Well, you'll be bigger if you keep eating, but where is your priority? And because at the end of the day, you have what you want. May not know that, you may think differently, but you have what you want. You create what you want, and it makes a difference. And if we talk about that in the eating thing, eating is typically a habit. We don't need to eat as much as we eat. And if you talk about Americans, most Americans don't need to eat half of what they eat, which is why obesity is so big in the U.S. and in a lot of Asian. Less healthy than others, So looking at our habits or habitual behavior makes a huge difference in what we do. But let's get back to what you see right now as being the biggest opportunity in your business, so people can kind of emulate you, and in others. What do you see as the biggest places to play?
Well, what I see is the biggest places to play, and actually the easiest places to play, is success is a team sport. Know that Andrew Carnegie was the richest man in the world, because we just got done talking about Think and Grow Rich. And he partnered with Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon Hill was a gentleman who was helping his brother, go through college. And he had a success mindset, but he wasn't that successful person yet. And Andrew Carnegie took him under his wing, and he wrote, no yawning. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
See, Dean Henson did that. He did that.
No yawning. What is that?
It caught me.
So I'm going to virtually slap Ken, and that's what this looks like. Wait, how about that? I got to figure out where. That's a virtual slap. So.
Keeping stuff out.
What? So anyway, success is a team sport.
Yeah, it is.
Ken couldn't do this by himself.
No.
He recruited 50 speakers. He recruited a co-host. He recruited another co-host who's not down there, but anyway. I can see him on the screen down there. Yeah. Think about, and I really want you, there it is. He's down there. Thank you for popping in. Right.
I'm drinking.
Oh, and since we have the virtual smack, we also have the virtual hug,
There you go.
And we can blow kisses. So here's what I want to share with you. While you're laying in your bed or you're totally frustrated and you're bored, well, if you're bored, I'm going to hold you accountable. You need to be doing something. And it's not binge watching Netflix. Open up your LinkedIn and think about who are the people that you would like to do business with. Who are the people that you would like to work with? I'm talking to my entrepreneurs. I'm not only talking to my entrepreneurs, but I'm talking to people who have careers, right? If you have a career and it's your dream to work for, Sarah Blakely because she's created this iconic brand Spanx, well, go on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Look at her site. Look at Spanx. See who works there. Connect with them. You'd be surprised. Everybody's home right now on staycation. And if you did that with the people that you wanted to connect with and became engaged with them on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram, what could be your possibilities? Think about the things that you love to do and connect with the people that are doing the things that you love to do. What could that be for you? Right? Because everybody is home right now on staycation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's true. And the thing is too, is don't be afraid to ask. I mean, there's times when asking for things may be a little bit out of the ordinary, especially, if you're going to be unreasonable and ask, can you change something just before, like, we go live, for example? No, but ask for what you want. And because at the end of the day, nobody knows but you. And as a perfect example, you wanted to meet Les Brown, right? So what did you do?
I asked. So, and here's something that you don't know, Ken, because my and Ken relationship is very new, but we're like long lost friends. Like as soon as we got on the phone, we couldn't get off. Okay, I'm going to go. No. All right. And then we talked for like another 20, 30 minutes.
There are rules.
There's rules.
There are rules now. There are rules.
We have rules.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have rules. So here's the funny thing. I've shared a stage with Les Brown. I've met Les Brown before, but Ken actually brought it to the point where now I know Les Brown on a different level. And I've been working on that for years. And I knew it was going to happen. And the people that are in my circle know my dreams because they share them with me. And the reason I met Ken is because I was like, I want to do this. And my friend helped me. Here, I want to share with you that here's the 3 hardest things to do. 1 is to say, I love you. So here's a little challenge. I want you to reach out to somebody today and tell them that you love them, right? And it's okay to say, I love you, Raquel, because I'll take that on a text, right? Like love, right? And it's hard because it's a level of vulnerability to say that I love you, right?
Yeah.
The second thing that's really, really, truly hard to do is to say, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so I'm going to challenge you to tell somebody today that you love them. Also tell somebody today that you're sorry. And here's the clinker. Say you're sorry even if you think you're right. Because being right, well, you could be right, but you can't be happy. You could be right, but you can't be rich. What is the cost of you being right? Say you're sorry.
Yeah.
And I've done this myself. And when you say that you're sorry to somebody that you love, right? Somebody that you need in your life, well, here's what happens. There's this lift. It's crazy. And it makes you feel good. And you're like, wow. And you weren't even wrong. You're just sorry, you know? And it feels good. It puts positive energy out there for you, and it puts it in the universe. And we need more positive energy right now. So say, I love you. Find somebody to say I'm sorry to. And the third thing is what me and Ken were just talking about. Ask for help. If there's something that you need, ask for help. In the beginning of this, my mom is 85 and she lives in New York. And I was talking to my mom on the phone. And this is the longest period of time I've gone without seeing my mom. And I want you to know that when I say that, I almost want to just burst out into tears, but I'm getting better at that. It's taking me practice. You know, this whole Corona thing, virus thing, you know, has got me very emotional because I'm used to seeing my mom at least once every 2 months, typically once a month. I slow it down a little in the winter, right? My mom had one roll of toilet paper and I was talking to her home care aide and I was like, did you find toilet paper? No, I can't find toilet paper. I'm like, you know, what am I going to do? My mom doesn't have toilet paper. I can't even believe I'm talking about toilet paper. Me and my mom laugh about this now. I can't find toilet paper. So you know what I did? I put a post on Facebook. Help. Where do I find toilet paper? In the town that my mom lives in. I'm asking for my mom. 4 people responded. 3 people were unsuccessful, but I only needed 1. My mom got a 9 mega roll thing of toilet paper. And I didn't even have to pay for it. It was free. You know how much a 9 mega roll toilet paper goes for these days?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a university education.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what drew me to this, because I want to help people who want to do something outside of what they're doing and do it in your passion, because if you're doing it with your passion, you could do it for like 27 hours because that's how long we're going to be here for, Ken, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. And they've challenged me. They've challenged me. You're going to be able to stay awake. And I thought, we're there but it's true. So saying I love you is important. And by the way, I'll say that even from a masculinity side, some of the most masculine men are now feeling comfortable to say, I love you, not just to women, but to men. And I think I'll editorialize, we need to kind of stop feeling that giving terms of endearment are threatening. Saying hi honey or hey gorgeous does not mean I want to have sex with you. It means you're a nice person and you're very attractive, whoever you are, however you are. And let's not be threatened by that. Yeah, you are hot. You know, you are hot.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are. But hot, what's hot? Hot is who you are inside. There are a lot of people that are very pretty physically, but they're just not pretty inside. And that comes right out. So I advise people in terms of a takeaway that the 2 biggest things you can do in business and in life to be successful are to be nice. Just be nice. And this whole experience would not have happened had it not been that everyone wanted to be part of this journey, but we were having fun with one another. And this experience has been great. You know, so some of you are making lovely comments and I appreciate that. Denise O'Brien, for example, we became great friends years ago, same kind of thing. I surprised her at her 50th birthday and she screamed when she saw me. I walked in, she had no idea I was showing up at her 50th birthday party. And she screamed so loud they thought she was being attacked. It was hysterical. it was one of the things we'll never ever forget. But those are the kind of things that make memories. And the way you and I met, Raquel, and how we were co-conspiring to have you, which you may still do later, make an appearance in this event. So there's all sorts of fun things. So I'm going to suggest to you, and we need to segue to our next speaker. I'm going to suggest to you that you let yourself be you. Let yourself be fun. If you're a shy person, that's okay to be shy, but so much of shy, I think, comes with uncertainty for who you are. And be sharper. Do outrageous, because at the end of the day, unless someone else is paying for your entire life, who are they? And that experience for me has come with age, I will tell you. But it really comes down to that. And being a character wins these days. It's attention. Attention is the new currency. Is that right?
It is right. Relationship is the new currency. When I was raising my daughter, I'm a single parent. Things did not go as well as I would think. I would have thought I'd have been married for the rest of my life and have more kids. I had one kid, got divorced when she was young. But one of the things that I always told her, my daughter, when she was growing up, I was like, we do business with people that we like, not the people that are the best, with the people that we like. So build those relationships, and then everything that you want will follow. Because it's not going to be the person who's the best that gets the job, that gets the interview, that gets the stage. It's going to be the person who's the most liked.
Yeah, it's true.
And everything works like that. It's relationship equity. That's why I want to build a community of people who run around with the self-confidence and say, I am sharper. Be present on what your gifts are, because if you know what your gifts are, people will actually be like, wow, I want to be around you. And it's crazy. I was messaging. Here's something else I want you to do, everybody, just like an add-on. This is extra credit homework from Sharper, right? If somebody pops into your head, message them, LinkedIn them, IG them, however you get in touch with them. Somebody from high school, somebody from college, somebody you used to work with. This is a time they might be sending you this energy. Reach out to them. And somebody from high school reached out to me because they saw my interview with Les Brown, right? And they were like, you always had amazing energy from the moment. You have this great energy from when I was in high school. And let me be honest, I didn't think I had great energy in high school. I had a lot of stuff going on. I thought that I was ugly, and I was going through a lot. But he reminded me that I always showed up when I was around people to enjoy their company and their presence. So I want you to know that as you're listening to my voice today, that you're here as a presence. You are a present. So be present and know what your gifts are, because that's really, truly powerful. Yeah. And I want to help people know that every day is a gift, and that, like as Ken is here with me today, his presence is a present.
Oh. Thank you. I heart. So that was just another amazing World Love Week session. Now, a lot of our sessions have come from Opportunity-thon, which was our record-breaking event, which we did a few months back. Now, Opportunity-thon really focused about the opportunities that are presenting themselves during the time of pandemic. And frankly, what a great way to have an attitude of love, of sharing, of giving, of contribution. I stand for love. Do you?
I stand for love. Do you?
Hey, this is Captain Lou, and I stand for love, baby. Do you? Do you?
Do you?
Do you? Yes. Do you? Do you?
Do you?
Do you? Do you?